I try to always hold country over party. I do not always succeed, but I try. I am not going to defend Hernandez because I think that he has committed massive crimes. However, Mr. Davies seems to imply that the drug dealers are getting pardons from President Trump. Maduro and the rest of his ilk have no place in civilized society. But misleading people about the situation does not help. Even after Thanksgiving is over, liberals just cannot stop their revisionist history. The settlers did not reach a land that had a united government. They found a landmass with people groups consistently at war over the land. What the settlers did was find land, claim it, and keep it. Some portions of the land were even purchased at an agreed-upon rate. What we have here is a classic case of sore loser liberal.
Let me break Miss Sorensen's drivel down a bit.
Here we have the classic liberal delusion that unless the federal government does the job, it cannot be done at all by anyone. Please ignore the fact that the states can do the same job. Please ignore the fact that private inspection firms can also do the same job. Miss Sorensen is so deluded that she believes that without the FDA, food companies would have no oversight. For that, we actually have the free market. If any company, other than a vaccine manufacturer, makes a person sick, that company will be sued and boycotted. If this happens too much, the company will cease to exist. And she just rounds it off with something so off the wall that no one should take it seriously.
Miss Sorensen just loves her drivel.
Once more, we have a Democrat setting up a straw man of President Trump. Never mind that he has denounced the organization. Never mind that his policies have nothing to do with the organization. Never mind that the opposition party founded the organization. Never mind that it is liberals who have an obsession with judging people on melanin. Clearly, it is Donald Trump who is at fault. All they have to do is come in legally and not break laws before they are citizens. That really does seem to be very simple. Then again, I should not say that it is simple. Democrats called burning down cities mostly peaceful, but say that it is the end of democracy after an unauthorized tour. So I guess they really do not understand the word legal.
Let me break Mr. Bowling's gibberish down a bit.
I challenge Mr. Bowling, or any liberal for that matter, to find one instance of a transgender being arrested for being a transgender. The problem comes from them sneaking a peek and stealing opportunities from female athletes. But anyone can be a creep or a cheat. I have not seen any immigrants being arrested, aside from those who committed crimes before becoming citizens. There are a lot of illegals being arrested, but if you break into my home, you get no mercy. Protesters are not being arrested. Rioters are being arrested. When you throw rocks at law enforcement, I have no sympathy for you. Liberals could just let them do their job of protecting everyone. And since the last three were gibberish, so is this one.
Mr. Bowling just loves his gibberish.
I suspect that Mr. Bennett, like most liberals, watches the fake news religiously to get the talking points down. As such, I know that he probably watches ABC. As such, he should know that the double tap was for the people who went back to save the drugs. And if this is about the person whose family is suing, any liberal worth his salt watches networks like ABC to get the day's talking points. As such, Mr. Bennett knows that these terrorists went back for the drugs. Whichever one this cartoon is about, I say goodbye and good riddance to those smugglers. Mr. Jones might not care what he says, but I try to run a family-friendly channel. Furthermore, as I have said before, if you have to resort to explicatives, you have lost the argument. That being said, let us look at the actual situation. President Trump is indeed impulsive and random at times, but when it comes down to it, he is also strategic. Everything that he says and does has a purpose. This comes on the heels of two major happenings. One, massive Somali fraud in Minnesota which supported Islamic terrorists. And two, a campaign event in which a speaker said that Ilhan Omar was for Somalis over Americans. You put these two together, and I can understand his reaction. If they like Somalia enough to commit fraud to aid it, and want to help so-called leaders with an allegiance to Somalia, they should just go there and leave us alone. Well, I severely doubt that they put a woman on a boat for drug smuggling, but I'm sure that drug lords are equal opportunity employers. Either way, the same liberals who are denouncing this strike against terrorists never objected to President Obama's wanton use of drones. I recall the time that he used a drone to blow up a wedding, but he was allowed to keep going unhindered. The main difference is that this time, it was just drug smugglers who died. This just proves what I have been saying in that these people are just drug dealers who are not criminalized. If she can give these drugs out without federal mandates or protection, that means that people could potentially sue for the consequences of the drug. Because as you know, you presently have no legal recourse should that be needed.